Yo. Um, I'm just going to go through the trades I took today on the L1 breakout system. It's the 5th of February. Maybe you want to use it to cross-reference what you did today, or maybe you're interested in the system or whatever. Let's just see what happened. I've been trying to do these reviews. I'm going to try and do them as much as I can, and of course, today is the day I had a good day. So don't be put off by I'm only showing you the winning days, because I have been busy lately, and this year I've been changing accounts and stuff like this. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to do these reviews properly, so they're beneficial and for anyone that's watching them or watching them in the future. Looking back, but also they kind of helped me as well, I've noticed. So it's good to review what happened today. So let's get into it, and we can go from there. Pretty straightforward, actually. This year I'm doing all right. So things are starting to come together for me. Starting to read the markets pretty well. Got a good read on them at the moment, and I'm just happy with my performance lately. So fingers crossed it keeps going. Right, yesterday was this is Tokyo Open, so overnight. So this is Tokyo this morning. Tokyo Open, I mean. So this is a full 24 hours. From here to here, and you can see how much the euro is kind of sold off. Today was non-farm payroll, so I was quite keen to trade this morning and then leave the afternoon, because it can become quite choppy. And if you know us or familiar with us as the border trader, you know that we don't like to trade news, just rather stay out of it and trade a period after the news has been released and all the choppiness is out the way. So anyway, 8 o'clock. Before 8 o'clock, 7, 8, we kind of formed this range. This is the high overnight, and we were trading around the lows. So after this big sell-off yesterday, I was a little bit wary of taking the shorts, but the long for a kind of retracement back to 120, this big round number that can usually act as a magnet, was appealing to me. So straightforward, taking the signal. This is the signal, long there. Unfortunately, it came into this range that we seen yesterday, around about mid-morning into the afternoon. And this is where the market stopped. It was also on this trend line, previous support that acted as resistance. And maybe if I was a little bit quicker or a better trader, probably would have been happy to take profit around about here for a half hour or 0.6 hour or something like that. So we got halfway, which means you can then move the stop to break even. And unfortunately, I was taken up there. Reviewing this trade, though, I could have been forgiven if I had let this run a little bit, because this is overnight resistance and seems pretty strong. So if it's strong enough, I like to instead of moving my break even to move my stop to true break even. I like to give her a little bit of room to breathe, and this time, if I had done that, maybe it would have worked, but wasn't to be anyway. Ended up getting to target around the non-farm payrolls data release, so nothing I could have done there. But that was a good move in the euro. Let's move on to GU. GU, something similar to the euro. If you had this wedge support marked up, if you bear with me, you can see it there. You know what I'm on about. It's a little, because I'm using MT4, it's a little bit clunky, but so that was the support, which then turned resistance a few times yesterday. this wick I was a little bit worried about, but because the new signal came here on a break of this high, I thought that there was enough room to test between the breakout and this high. So it was a little bit of a scalping trade, but I thought if we can test this high, I can make a decision then what to do with the trade. Maybe take it off for a little bit of profit. I decided to let it run, but I noticed that we test this previous support turned resistance once. It came back. I stayed in the trade. Came back and then pushed up, and I was keen to just take it off at this resistance, which was the correct decision at the end of the day. After seeing what happened with the euro, maybe I can't really remember what time it was around there. Maybe the different times, but I thought let's just get one in the bag. So I took this GU trade for about 0.7R, which is the right decision because the system would have got, I think this would have been a break even for the system. So that one trade I've outperformed compared to the system. So that is always nice. The second trade was I had this head and shoulders kind of marked up. This being inverse head and shoulders, this being the left shoulder, this being the head, and then this being the right shoulder. So I thought if this is the neckline, if we break there, we could have a measured move, which should get me comfortably to target. So I entered here, but because I was around about 4R up already, I decided to. This was after the non-farm payrolls, by the way, and because of this spike down, I thought it looked a little bit trappy, and pound has also come up a long way yesterday after the Bank of England interest rate decision. So I thought let's not be greedy and take it out. And we're still trading around the level that I entered anyway, so no harm done there. But I'm just talking you through my analysis a little bit. UI was a little bit unlucky with a short here. Yesterday we had a nice move up. You can see my trade here on the euro yesterday. On dollar yen. Today, I thought we might see a little bit of retracement back because UY has been on an absolute tear. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of pullback. So I entered here. As you can see, we had a nice breakout of this low, but we found support at this previous resistance here, and we had a nice bounce back up. So I was happy just to take a break even there. I got the market wrong. Should have been quicker to react here, but you can't always take everything out at every support or resistance level because you'll never make 1R. So what we can do is journal it and compare our performance to what we have done and what the system tells us to do. It's the benefits of having a defined set of rules to compare yourself to, and I think that's called the behavior gap. So yeah, the short didn't work, so I tried the long on a break of this high instead of taking it a little bit earlier. The trend is up, so I guess I could have been forgiven here for taking this there, but I wanted to wait for this resistance to clear. I did, but I thought after this was somewhere near a 30 pip move, which is pretty big for UY, even on this huge tear up. This kind of seems like one last effort by the bulls, and the bears kind of gave up quickly. And I imagine if the bulls kind of get in, long here, then they would just be happy to take their 30 pips profit at the highs. So I decided to take this one off. I was already in a couple of trades going right, and this one didn't feel like I had a probability like the others. This seemed like a lower probability trade than the other trade, so I just took it off. right, E. Let's go through some analysis here on EY. Sorry, I call the yen pairs Y. Some like to call them J. So EJ, EY, whatever. So EY. This week we've seen some nice moves, although it's kind of like been within these trend channel. This is nice accelerated down. As you can see, the bears kind of lose momentum. We traded sideways for a couple of days within this trend channel, resistance and support. And here we get like a change in the tide. The lows are getting higher, so we got some higher lows here. And I thought that because this is such a clearly defined trend channel, we could see a nice breakout here. As you can see at 8 o'clock, we had this big spike. I'm not sure if you could see 8 o'clock kind of put in this pin bar. This is the candle I'm on about. And then the next candle at 9 o'clock kind of negates that. So this to me, although it's not a traditional reversal signal, this is price action that I've kind of got used to, that if you see a pin bar like this and then a bar which kind of fails, then that's a good sign if you're bullish and you're looking for longs. And because of the clearly defined trend channel resistance, I was happy to take this long here and ignore these resistance areas, because I thought if people were going to have stops, it would probably be here. And this was a nice trade, and happy with the way that I read the market. So 1R on EY here. Have I been a better trader, always looking for ways to improve, then I could have possibly held this trade to reach big round number 127, which was still trying to do, or even this kind of like high here. But happy with 1R anyway. GY, quite similar to EY. Nothing too unusual. Stop here. You can see the arrow where I entered, and this is my 1R target. I ended up taking 0.9R, I think. But after this big push yesterday, following the Bank of England, we put in a kind of ascending trend channel, which is kind of like a bull flag. So maybe this big round number could act as a magnet for the bulls to try and test, and the bears might be gathering around here to start shorting this pair. I'll just show you what happened on the 15-minute chart. So I think my target was somewhere just 3 pips higher than this high. So I ended up just, I'm trying not to be greedy these days and trying to be proactive or reactive as much as possible. So instead of waiting for the 3 pips, which would have got there anyway, I just took it off at the high. I'm not sure if you get anything from that, but it might be interesting for you to see how I'm trying to trade. EA, nothing on EA. UC, I didn't touch it. AU, this is a nice kind of scalp. Yesterday was pretty choppy. Here is London Open. This kind of doji. We had an attempt to go down, negated. The breakouts weren't so clear. Overnight, we had a false breakout of this support. Nice reaction up. And then we had this kind of nice 2 pin bars, bearish signal, I guess. And should we get above there, I imagine there would be some stops that were placed here overnight, especially after this breakout failed. So I was happy to enter here, short my stop placed in an aggressive location instead of putting it behind here. I thought this big round number was reacted to on these 2 candles. So it was worth a try to go long, and also this kind of like area around here has been support resistance, a bit choppy. So I thought we could come up to test that level, which we did quite easily, and it didn't take long. We got there by 8 o'clock in the morning, got to target by 9, sorry, and then came back. And this was the second signal, but unfortunately, it was on non-farm payrolls 1 o'clock, 1:30. This is a 1 p.m. bar. So just one trade, one win on Aussie. Gold, haven't been trading this pair very well lately. This is just a quick review on yesterday. I took this short yesterday, stayed in it for all this time, ended up just scratching it once we pulled back here. I didn't take this short, which directly would have went straight to target. And then here, unfortunately, the signal was penetrated twice, and we didn't get a new signal. And then we had this gigantic breakout. So no trade for gold, but I'll just show you how I messed it up this trade yesterday. And FTSE, I stopped trading around about 2 o'clock after the last GU trade. I was almost 4 hour up today, so really good day. I decided to just to stop trading and do something else. And yeah, end the weekend, end the week with a nice week, and enjoy the weekend now. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. I'll try and do these as much as I can. Any questions? Get in touch. Nice one.